love her. Today is a celebration, y'all. It's a celebration of our Democratic Party, and it's also Juneteenth weekend. All right. I know. Hey, Shay. I know, though, I'd be remiss if I didn't recognize it. It's still heavy on all of our hearts and minds. The terror attack, the act of hate that happened in Orlando. And also yesterday is the one-year anniversary of a racist domestic act of terrorism that claimed the lives of 9 saints at the Mother Emanuel AME Church in Charleston. This anniversary and the wounds of the attack are something that we all are dealing with, but I'm praying for healing for the brokenhearted, as well as in the hearts of those whose hatred will not let them see the beauty in all God's children. But I want to tell you about Dallas's response last Sunday night. Last Sunday night, it stood in stark contrast to our Republican leaders. On Sunday night, Dallas County stood on the side of love. Atheists, Buddhists, Christians, Hindus, Jews, Muslims, and many races and national origins, people of different sexual orientations and gender identities met, stood and prayed together, marched shoulder to shoulder together, and spoke out against hate together. Because we know that together we will meet our challenges and seize our opportunities to build a better tomorrow. Absolutely, you're absolutely right, and thank you for that. And by the way, while we're saying thank you, let's give a round of thanks again to the Castro brothers. You know, Joaquin raised Castro brothers. Joaquin raised about a third of all the money that was raised for this convention just himself. And our great Democratic team, Gilberto Hinojosa, Crystal Perkins, Manny Garcia, Tariq Tafik, and all of that team, and every one of you who worked so hard to make this convention a success. So thank you, all of you, for that. Now, how many of you Democrats remember that at our last convention, I asked you to help bring thousands of unaccompanied minor refugees trapped at our border to Dallas County? Anybody remember that? Those children were being dehumanized by Republican politicians to incite fear. But you knew they were children just like your children and my child, children made in the image of God. Leaders can incite fear or anger, or they can call on people for reason and compassion, but it's the community that decides a response. You responded with compassion and commitment, and together we succeeded in placing those children in permanent homes in Texas, and according to President Obama, changed the national narrative from faceless, undocumented aliens to precious children who needed our compassion and deserved our help. Democrats, we still need comprehensive immigration reform. But personally and on behalf of every child refugee you helped, I want to thank you and congratulate you today. Thank you. Then in September and October of that same year, 2014, Ebola struck America. How many people remember the Ebola outbreak and the Ebola craziness? All right? Now, while I was busy leading our successful effort to end our country's first Ebola outbreak, my Republican opponents were also busy attacking my every decision, sending protesters with big signs to my 8-year-old daughter's school, and filing Child Protective Services complaints against me for sleeping in my own home. and thus exposing my child to Ebola. But you said, don't worry, Clay, we have your back. And, you know, Democrats started pouring in from all over this state in October with sweat, strategy, and resources, and fought to reelect me. Well, congratulations and thank you, Democrats. We stood together. We stood together, and we did what was right, and we won. So greetings from Dallas County, the only county to sue Governor Rick Perry and then Attorney General Greg Abbott. To protect your right to vote. Now, in Dallas County, we believe democracy works best when every eligible voter has the opportunity to participate. I'm honored to work with some great elected and party leaders in Dallas County. If you are a past or current official or party leader in Dallas County, or a past or current Democratic chair or party officer living in Dallas County, will you please stand up so we can thank you? And these leaders show when Democrats lead, we all succeed. Now, I come by my Democratic values honestly. My mother, Joanne Jenkins, is a former Ellis County Democratic chair and the longest serving member of the SDC. She's out there somewhere. Thank you, Mama. You're the mama. Now, also at our last convention, I spoke to you about the need for local governments to pay its contract employees a living wage because people who work full-time deserve to be able to pay for life's necessities and pass on a sense of optimism to their children. Tonight, I want to tell you, or today, sorry, speeches from last night. Today, I want to tell you about another effort to help the middle class get ahead. I'm leading an effort to lower property taxes this year in Dallas County. To give our working families relief from high appraisal rates and higher taxes. Now, because of our booming local economy, Dallas County is seeing a record increase of 12% in appraised values of middle-class homes. Now, that's great news for homeowners over the age of 65 whose property taxes are capped in Dallas County. It's mixed bag news for homeowners under 65, and it's all bad news for the 48% of the Dallas County residents who rent. Average rent on a 2-bedroom apartment in Dallas County has risen from $986 to $1,101 in 1 year, and will likely rise at the same rate as our property tax burden increases. Landlords pass on increased taxes to tenants. Working families didn't get a 10% increase in their pay last year, and they don't deserve a 10% increase in their property taxes or their rent. And somebody said $15 minimum wage, and that's right too. And let me tell you something. If the state would leave the cities alone, you'd see living wages in all your cities, but your Republicans in Austin strip the power of local government to enact those reforms. Now, I'm working with councilmen, mayors, and our commissioners from both parties to get the working families the relief they need and to fully fund our local government budgets. In the 5.5 years since Dr. Elba Garcia and I took office and brought with us the first Democratic majority to the Commissioner's Court since the early 1980s and the first progressive majority ever, we welcomed Democratic stalwart and former SDC committee woman Teresa Daniel to the commission. Teresa's out there somewhere. And we strengthen environmental policy, LGBT rights, purchasing practices, labor unions' ability to compete for contracts, and quality of care at Parkland, our public hospital. We ended the 2012 West Nile virus epidemic, the worst in U.S. history. Last year, we signed up 132,637 citizens for Obamacare. And our county uninsurance rate has dropped from 27.2, one of the highest in the country, down to under 22%. We've worked with our schools to expand pre-K. We're working to reduce truancy, and we'll work to increase early college campuses for our schools. And along with our great Sheriff Lupe Valdez, all right, Lupe, we've lowered our jail population by over 1,500 inmates per day. Successfully stood up to prison profiteers who wanted to abolish in-person visitation in our jails. Expanded second chance deferral programs and passed Ban the Box to give ex-offenders a fair chance at employment. We attracted and kept businesses and saw unemployment drop from 8% to 3.5%. And unlike our Republican predecessors, we balanced each budget shortfall without a tax increase or layoff through performance-based budgeting. Now, 2 years ago, I was at a press conference at Parkland Hospital where we announced low-paid workers were immediately being raised to a living wage. A woman who worked in sanitation was interviewed by a reporter and asked what she would do with her extra income. She said, "I think I'll quit one of my other 2 jobs and spend more time with my 3 kids." One thing we know for sure, Texas Democrats are fighting for every Texas family because everyone deserves a fair shot to get ahead. I look forward to working with the next President of the United States, Hillary Clinton, to continue what we're doing. Thank you, and God bless each and every one of you.